Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 200 series Toyota Crown. This one here, the hybrid, with the 3.5-liter gasoline engine that puts out what I believe to be somewhere around 300 to 320 horsepower. I'm going to leave it up to our team to figure that out. I hear one source said 300 horsepower, another source said that this is basically the same platform as the GS450H in North America. They do share the same platform, and that one has, I think, around 326, 328 horsepower, something like that. But fastest 0 to 60 of any Crown at the time, 5.4 seconds. Yeah, I did have to look that up. The regular version of the Crown is 6 seconds, so it's significantly faster 0 to 60. Now, this car was bought from auction here in Japan, as is all these cars on our channel. We're going to be exporting this one over to Canada because it is now 15 years old. And it's cool to see such a modern car that is now 15 years old. I guess time is flying. Take a look at this. It's a full digital gauge set in 2008. Cool, right? It also has what I believe to be like crash avoidance technologies, where it'll take over the steering for you if it thinks it's going to have an offset front crash. Plenty of airbags inside. The Toyota Crown, they've been selling this since 1955 here in Japan, constantly. It is the halo vehicle for Toyota, I guess you could say. Now, this one here was bought from the MyRive auction, and here's the MyRive auction inspection sheet, and this shows you any of the problems with the car as well as sales points and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and translate this from Japanese to English for you. It's a 2008 Crown Hybrid, and then it says standard package, I guess. Auction grade 4, interior C, exterior C. I'd say that's being a little bit harsh. Both the interior and exterior should both be a B, but maybe you have to clean the interior a bit. Kind of a weird separation of the glass up here, just a little bit. Not enough for it to be a problem, but it is a little bit unsightly. Okay, it's a 3.5-liter engine plus the hybrid. That's how you get so much power. Normally, this engine puts out anywhere between 250 to 320 horsepower, depending on the car that it's in and the trim level that it has. And so a good basis for hybrid. And it's cool that the Crown Hybrid did the same thing as Lexus did, where the hybrid ones, in order to make hybrid cooler, were the fastest ones that you can get. Okay, 91,213 kilometers, and of course, being a Toyota, it should be nice and reliable. And we've been selling a lot of hybrids here recently. It seems like the batteries, from what I've heard, have been all completely fine after 15 years. But of course, that is something to consider before you buy. Just my experience shows that Prius after Prius after Prius after Prius, and we haven't had any problems with dead batteries or diminished range. Okay, sales points here. It says original HDD Navi, radar cruise control. So the radar cruise control changes your speed depending on if there's traffic. Side and reverse monitor. TV canceller. This allows you to watch TV while driving. Technically illegal in Japan, but a lot of people like to do it. Okay, it says windshield rock chip, which isn't something I would typically worry about. It's usually just like a millimeter. I don't even see it at first glance here. Nothing like a crack, which you do have to watch out for. Crack can be anywhere between like 1 millimeter to 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. And then a rock chip is almost 100% of the time under 1 millimeter in size and not through the glass. Okay, interior scratched, wear, dirty, and rip. Oh, I didn't find any rip. That's weird. And then seat saggy. I'll take a closer look at the interior, see if I can find that rip. Okay, and then the body here has an A3 and an A4. I'll show you those two things, and then I'll do the once around. The A3 is a level 3 scratch. It is right here underneath the front bumper. It is in an area that is not too easy to see, so I don't worry about it too much. And the A4 isn't as deep, but it is longer. If you look from here across to the very end, there are scratches from hitting some sort of a curb or something. Not that unsightly. At some angles, you don't even see it, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Now let's do the once around. Before we get into that, I want to say that the Crown Hybrid has a couple of things that make it stand out as the hybrid. You get a different grille there with the hybrid badge that has blue in it. You also have blue in the headlights, which is kind of neat. It was a thing in the early 2000s. Okay, and the tail lights are slightly different. Well, quite a bit different. You get no red in the tail lights. It's just like a full clear tail light. Very similar to the Alphard hybrid and how that works. You get different headlights and different tail lights as the main visual differentiator. Okay, once around here, 200 series. I think my favorite is the 170 series, but I can see why these were such big sellers. It is, as far as the sedan body shape goes, one of the cleanest and one of the nicest. I guess you can consider the crown similar to a Camry. Camera down. There's dudes on bikes coming by. But the Crown is rear-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive, where the Camry is front-wheel drive. The Camry is kind of like a cheapened version of the Crown that was made for the American market. The Crown itself deemed not profitable enough, I guess. And it does feel like a more premium item. As I like to say, these Crowns feel a lot more like a Lexus than they do like a Toyota. Okay, I'm not too sure about the fuel economy of this. Maybe if somebody does know, they can post that in the comments. That would be super handy. I do appreciate when people do that kind of stuff, and it happens fairly frequently. So thank you to the audience. Come around here, and we'll start talking about any of the defects or the features of the car now. So first off, the headlights are both fairly cloudy. You probably noticed that already. They need a good polish, but they don't look like they're too far gone. There aren't any cracks in the plastic or anything. Same thing can be said about the plastic that goes over the badge here. It seems a little bit cloudy, but it could just be that it hasn't been polished in a while. The hood and the front bumper, they look like they're fairly rock chip free, but there probably are a few here and there. Nothing that really stood out to me. There's that scratch down there that I mentioned. There's a little bit of a bumper coming out. And I don't know if I'm fully convinced, but these clips suck. It makes me wonder why they went to something that sucks, because they used to put bumpers on with bolts and they were fine. And then every manufacturer moved over to clips, and as soon as you get a teeny little bump, they never clip in again. Now this one here is fairly mild as far as it goes, but it is annoying to me. And also this is the Dirty Rain in Japan. Now you can wipe it off now, but it's on my fingers now. You can get that permanently on the car, and if you look like above the grill here, there is this darkness in here. Sometimes you need a solvent to get rid of that. Okay, coming down the side here, you get hybrid badges on here. Door mirrors that have that weird thing that German cars started in the late 90s, and then Japanese cars did the same thing. You get like a concave section of the mirror to give you a wider possible view, but then it gives you a narrower view of everything at the same, I don't know how to call it. Is that spider alive or not? I'm not too sure. Like your field of vision is reduced, but then also extended, but then you can't focus on any of these areas here because it's concave. It doesn't allow your two eyes to focus in the same location. I personally am not a big fan of that, but I guess people are because they keep doing it. Oh, and I got to show you how far these doors open. Look. Pretty much a full 90 degrees to open that door. Kind of weird. Handy, but kind of weird. There is a scratch here. And there is a scratch here. I think there's one more scratch about that same size. Crown logo on the C-pillar is a Crown thing. You'll find that on a lot of them. You have radar on both front and back. And yeah, a hybrid with dual exhaust. How many of those do you find? Okay, I really like the looks of these from the rear. I think the C-pillar and the back fender, how it works together, is quite nice. And it has quite an interesting body line here. Notice this one here follows the same line as this one here, and then it scoops in and then comes down and is the line next to the windows on the sill there. I think it's a nice little detail there in how they put that together. Okay, it has some really old stickers on here. It says the car is really good on gas. You get 25% cheaper road tax, I think, because of that. I don't actually know the rules because all the cars I buy seem to be not very good on gas and are older. Okay, now we have some dings here that have started to rust. There's actually one on the fuel filler cap over here as well. Boop. How do you open this one? Oh, from the inside. Wheels need to be replaced. The tires are no good. They're Bridgestone tires. They are 6 years old, but they have started to crack. So you're going to need some new tires. Since this one's going to Canada, you need DOT tires anyway. And you do need to change the headlights, which you can't in this car. As far as I know, there weren't any... I don't know. Does China do left-hand drive or right-hand drive? For Canada, you need them to be left-hand drive oriented headlights. And I don't think that this car was sold anywhere outside of Japan and China. You can just go to a shop that will allow it to pass. And there are some ways that you can technically pass. If you wire up, for example, some fog lights onto a car and the fog lights are rated as a headlight beam pattern that are DOT compliant, then you can run those to pass the exam. These ones here are intakes for brake cooling and they are functional, which is very cool to see that. It is not a light car. I think it's somewhere around 1,800 kilos. But yeah, that 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds is pretty nice. Coming here, you do have a weird smell in the car. I think it is animal related, and so it's going to need some ozone treatment, which will get smells out of the interior of a car. You have this, which has been a Crown mainstay for a while. Some things here for maintenance that has been done. Okay. It has the cool thing where the seat and the steering wheel will move into position. Crown. Ooh. Yeah. 4 power windows, of course. They're all auto, which I love. I find this handle to be a little on the small side. I want to grab it a little bit back, but I can't. But not a big annoyance. You'll definitely get used to that. Power seat definitely works. How do you get that to stop dinging? That's a bit annoying. Crown hybrid mats, as you can see, fairly dirty, but the seat here is in good condition, save for some dirtiness on the side bolster. Not seeing any rip here anywhere. And then it has airbag in the side, airbag in the pillar. There is a cigarette burn on the pillar. I'll just turn that on for now, so it doesn't ding. Press the brakes and press the switch again. Yeah, quiet please. So cigarette burn up here, and then of course airbag here and airbag there. Interior is pretty nice, I would say. This is a nice material. It's a vinyl, not a real leather, but it's actually a vinyl, not just a plastic like Toyota used to love. And it's really stitched in there. This opens up. It looks like this was hydro dipped, but I don't see any damage to it. There are a few minor scratches in this area. Shifting feels weird because it's a hybrid. You don't actually shift like a regular automatic transmission, and there's no CVT in this one. The only CVTs in Toyota hybrids are in the Estima and the Alphard, and I think it's because they have more weight to pull around, I guess. I don't know. The AC is dual zone, so left and right has their own zone, and it works well. Audio here, aircon. You can set this with a touch screen. Okay, let me turn that to low. Big speaker up here, and another one up there, and another one there, and another one there, so your audio should sound pretty good. I actually haven't had a chance to hear it. Got a lot of dirtiness over here, unfortunately. And on here, here's what the key looks like. It's just the keep it in your pocket style. And then cup holders in here. They look deep enough to be used. This one here has a cigarette lighter adapter inside and a slidable tray. And it opens both ways. Look at that. My yen fell out of my pocket. Headliner is good. I think there was no cigarette burn. A little bit dirty back there. Wow. Yeah, definitely need to wash this one out. And check this out. There's an ambulance call button. I don't even know how that works. Do you need to have a membership in order to call an ambulance? Don't know. Going into the back here, it's cool to see it has power seats. You flip this guy down. You've got power seats. The power seats are just the back. just like the Crown that we just shot on the channel, the 180 series. So I guess this is a stayover from that generation. And you have the rear shade controls and volume controls for your audio. You also have a cigarette lighter adapter in there. Now this one here is rather hard. And well, I mean, it is cushy, but it sticks out a lot, leading me to believe that this center seat isn't going to be the most comfortable. But the other seats look well comfortable enough, and you get plenty of leg room in here. The seats curl to give you more leg room, and they each have their own handle on here. Mind you, the handle doesn't give you knuckle room. So if you're sticking your hand in, you're going to rub your knuckles on something in there. AC vents back here, some wear on the Crown badge, and controls for the seats to move it forward and back. Very popular on Crowns and has been for a long time. Yeah, headliner has something. It is sticky. You will be able to wash that off. You get your own lights up here that can move in different directions. That's cool. Okay, and yeah, that stuff and some dirtiness on that bolster over there. You do have child seat anchors up there if you need your child in here. And dirtiness on the floor. Let's go take a look at the trunk. Now, it's been a while since we've sold a 200 series. Oh, no rear trunk pop. Annoying. You can open it with a key fob. You can press the button here. I suspect that you get less trunk room because of the batteries, which is usually the case. It looks like your batteries are in between the seats and the trunk. So this is a false wall, probably has the batteries behind it. And then, I don't know why, but this is sagged down. You can probably take the plastic piece out and reform it with a heat gun or something, but the whole plastic piece seems to be bowed down like that. And then there's a spare tire underneath. I can't recall if it is a full size or not. Space saver size. And yeah, because of that bowed section, it just gets stuck like that unless you're like, okay, let's do this properly. Yeah. Okay. I think we're done. This Crown Hybrid with somewhere between 300 and 330 horsepower, 5.6 seconds 0 to 60, and four-wheel drive? Oh, I don't know. Sometimes these hybrids are four-wheel drive because it makes it easier. Then the gasoline can run two wheels and the electric end motors can run two wheels, but I actually don't know on this one. So, time for me to research. Doesn't say on here which one that it is. Anyway, Crown Hybrid. Hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for that. Got a dude on a bike. He's coming by, so I'm just going to let him be as I conclude this Crown Hybrid with blue headlights and clear taillights and probably pretty good fuel economy for 300 and something horsepower. So that's all for now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Send them my way. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.